Yes guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to the George Benson football channel. You've not seen me for the past 4 days. It's because I've been in Australia watching the Australian Open. It was a Christmas present. My girlfriend and I were there. It was absolutely wonderful. We're back now in the office. It's Monday and Chelsea are the final match of what has been a pretty outrageous weekend of Premier League football. We're going to go through the results today. But Chelsea versus Wolves at Stamford Bridge, I'm going to say it now. This is about as must-win game as we've had all season. If we don't win tonight, then oh my word. Genuinely, I think we are in for a disastrous second half of the season. I'm being truthful. Man City away this coming weekend. This week, we've got Man City away. City scored 6 against Ipswich yesterday. They looked fantastic. Yes, Ipswich didn't look very good at all. But Chelsea have got to get back to winning ways. Our form right now in the Premier League is atrocious. We are 6th in the Premier League table. We're going to go over that in a second. We're going to take a look at the weekend's results because we're looking not only over our shoulder right now, but we're also looking up. And I'm thinking, well, Forest just keep on winning. In fact, let's do it right now, shall we? Let's switch over to this window here. Bournemouth absolutely battering Newcastle away 4-1. Justin Kluivert with a hat-trick. I told you guys about this bloke a few weeks ago, didn't I? Scored against Chelsea, gets a hat-trick away from home. He's serious. And so are flipping Bournemouth, by the way. But let's keep going. Let's take a look here. West Ham, 0. Palace, 2. Liverpool winning 2-0 at Brentford. That is a title-defining win, in my opinion. 2 late goals from Darwin. Fulham winning at Leicester. Arsenal were 2 goals ahead against Aston Villa, and then they caved. It finished 2-2. Forest beating Southampton 3-2 at home. Spurs. Yeah, Everton 3-2. David Moyes' first game back. We love it. United battered by Brighton at home. 3rd straight win at Old Trafford for Brighton. And a 6-0 win for Manchester City away at Ipswich. That sees City leapfrog Chelsea in the table. And speaking of which, let me get up the Premier League table and we can take a good look at it right now because it's not looking good, is it? We got 3 draws out of the last 5 with 2 defeats sandwiched in there over Christmas as well. Newcastle were on a pretty fantastic winning run until that defeat to Bournemouth, who are now level on points with Chelsea. They're unbeaten in their last 5. So Brighton are also unbeaten in their last 5. Aston Villa seem to have picked up again a little bit. A good result at the Emirates, but we're looking now, we're 13 points behind Liverpool. We're not talking about the title anymore. But 7 behind Arsenal, 7 behind Forest. Win today, we go within 4 points of both of those teams. We would leapfrog City again, leapfrog Newcastle. And I think there's a lot to be said about Chelsea going to the Etihad next week, sitting in the top 4. It would make me feel confident. It would give us that win that we have been so desperately craving. And if we bring it back to this Premier League table, when we're looking over our shoulder, we're only 4 points ahead of flipping Fulham. It's so tight between 10th place Fulham all the way up to Man City in 4th. Chelsea have now got to understand here exactly where we sit this season. This form that we've been on has not only been unacceptable because you can't ever go through a period of 5 league games without a win and still expect to be a Champions League club. You can't. It's untenable. But not only that, it's the nature of how we've lost these matches and against the quality of opposition that have been outplaying us, or not always necessarily outplaying us, but just getting results against us that we should not be dropping points in. So there's obviously a lot to cover based on what we've seen in the last 4 days. Chalobah has been recalled back from Crystal Palace. This is a weird one. I've got to talk about it. I was going to talk about it whilst in Australia, but we're at the tennis every day. It was pretty hectic stuff. Trev being back, as much as I think he would become probably the best centre-back we've got in the team right now, I still don't think Maresca's going to be starting him. And that is not just because he didn't want him in the summer. There's a lot of mixed rumours going around right now. Maresca says that the reason we got rid of Trev was because of FFP issues, which would explain why we didn't sell him to get money in. We just loaned him to Crystal Palace. He didn't go on the pre-season tour. Chalobah was never given a sniff. And this tells you all you need to know, right? Maresca doesn't really have a say about what happens with the players that are available. Yes, obviously, injuries are now playing a part in what we have to do this season too. We'll get into the team news in a minute because it's a little bit scary. I'm not going to lie. But the fact of the matter is, Chelsea, we didn't fancy Trev earlier this season, but we're desperate now. The fact we spent all of this money, yet still, the 2 best centre-backs we have at the club are free. Levi Colwill, Academy. Chalobah, Academy. It's embarrassing. It's absolutely embarrassing. And at the moment, there's a lot of rumours that Tosin might go this January. We bought him in for free in the summer. I think it's been a good free signing. But yes, he's not quite at the level to probably be a top 4 Premier League club. But like, at least the guy's an aerial threat when we keep crossing the ball in or we keep getting corners and doing nothing with it. So now, Trev is coming back. Do I think he's going to start? Probably not. I don't think Maresca puts him straight in. If I'm honest, if Colwill isn't fit today to start against Wolves, which there's 4 players that are being reported that might not be actually able to play. And this is a disaster. Levi Colwill, Enzo Fernandez, Romeo Lavia, Cole Palmer are all potentially not ready and fit enough to play against Wolves tonight. This is a disaster. Cole Palmer alone, considering we've only got 4 goals in the last 5 matches and Palmer scored 3 of them, if we don't have Cole tonight, I genuinely don't think we're going to win. I think it's as simple as that. When I've built my Chelsea team, I've built the team based on the idea that Colwill, Enzo, Lavia and Palmer will be fit and available because from what we're led to believe, these aren't necessarily injuries. They were knocks from the previous game or potential fitness problems. It's not like, well, someone's broken their leg or is a hamstring issue here or there. Like, it's touch and go. And I think Chelsea against Wolves, we cannot, no matter what we say, if I bring the table back up again, if you look at how close this is, Newcastle losing, City winning and being back on form, unbeaten in their last 5. It's typical, isn't it? Man City are now back, looks like it, scored 6 away from home, just in time for Chelsea to arrive next week. So if we don't beat Wolves, I'm looking at that game at the Etihad thinking, if we don't beat Wolves and we haven't won in 6, so we've not got the form to go and beat Man City away, even if they were still playing badly. Let alone the fact they've just signed 3 players, about to sign another one, taking business seriously. Look at that. Man City have a dreadful period of form. They're still 4th, by the way. The owners look at it and they're like, right, this can't do. Guardiola signed a new deal. We need a striker. Buy a striker. We need midfield backup. Buy a midfielder. We need defensive backup. Buy a defender. That's how you do business, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm incredibly worried right now about what Chelsea are doing, even in this January transfer window. If we're going to have a shoestring squad again because of injuries, lack of fitness to certain players, surely, if we're going to be selling loads as well, we've got to dip in the market to ensure that Maresca's got the best chance possible of getting the strongest finish to this season possible. I'm really concerned right now. We're not going to go into it too much more. I spoke about it in the last video, talking about that performance in the last game against Bournemouth. If you want to check that video out, go and see it. But let's build my Chelsea starting 11. Rob Sanchez is in goal. Look, I say it every video. Just give it to the guys in the blue shirt, please, and then try and save the shots that come your way. I've got to speak about it like I'm talking to a 3-year-old child. It's the only way I can actually get the words out. Moving into a Chelsea back 4. Lots of debate to be had here. I think, realistically, Trev should start straight away. I think he's probably the best centre-back we've got available at the club now. I think it's great that we've recalled him back. He loves Chelsea. He knows what this club means. It means a lot to him as well. Yes, he was doing very well at Palace. And realistically, I think if Chelsea didn't come knocking, been more than happy to stay there for the rest of the season and probably would be happy to be sold to Crystal Palace. But for the defence, I'm going with James, Achampong, Colwill, Cucurella. Of course, this is all injury dependent. Is Colwill going to be fit? Is he going to be ready? At the moment, it's touch and go. I've built this team with the hope that we get some positive news and we're not back to injury FC or Cole Palmer injury FC. So let's move forward now into Moises Caicedo in the midfield by himself. I think realistically in this one, I'm not sure if Enzo and Lavia, if they're not 100% fit, I don't think Maresca will risk playing both of them. So Caicedo in there by himself. Moving, we're just going to stick the whole rest of the team up now. Neto, Palmer, Enzo, Sancho. And I've dropped Nicholas Jackson. Nicholas Jackson has been in such poor form recently. Yes, in the Bournemouth game, there were brilliant moments from Jackson. But I'm giving Joao Felix a go here. I'm giving Felix a run as the striker. I know a lot of people might think this is lunacy, but our striker right now is so out of form. And to be honest, Mark Guiu's not ready. Nkunku, I don't think he's not a striker. It's as simple as that. I think right now Chelsea have got a lot of issues. There's a lot of issues with the way that we're seemingly managing recruitment in this January transfer window. There's big issues with the form of the players that we've seen in recent weeks. But Nicholas Jackson, the fact he's not scored in 5 games is one of them. Yes, you look at Wolves, and if, again, I bring it back to the Premier League table, Wolves are down in 17th. They had a good little burst when, I think, Pereira came in as the manager. They've lost their last 2. But Wolves are still 17th, looking over their shoulder at a relegation battle. There is absolutely zero excuses here tonight for Chelsea. But the problem is there might be an excuse. If Lavia, Colwill, Enzo, Palmer, if none of these are fit enough to play, where is the midfield? What on earth do we do? Genuinely. Is it a case of Reece James has to step up into defensive midfield and Champong at right back? Trev comes in at like... There's so many concerns I have going into this one tonight. I am not entirely sure what to expect. But if we do have the fitness of Cole Palmer and Palmer can play, then hallelujah. I think we can still win against any side if Cole Palmer is fit and available for selection. Score predictions tonight. Look, there's no... I can't sit here with any real confidence and say that I'm confident based on what we have seen recently and the way that we've been playing, the results we've been getting against the teams we're playing against. But we've got to win tonight. We've got to win. And I'm going to say we're going to scrape it 2-1. And I think Neto's going to get one against his old club tonight. I think he's got a big point to prove. Pedro Neto needs to arrive again. When he scored that goal against Arsenal, I'm like, yes, what a player. This is what we need. I love the work that he puts in, but output-wise, if Chelsea aren't scoring and Jackson's not scoring, we're relying on Palmer again. Again, and again. So someone right now needs to look at this situation and be like, I'm going to be the guy. I'm going to be that guy. So I'm taking Jackson out because he's not been that guy recently. He's been missing so many big chances. And I'm going to give Felix a go up front. I know that is a big call. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments down below. We'll be live tonight on GBFC for the watch-along. I'm so nervous about it. I'm not going to lie. Chelsea 6th, Wolves 17th. We're at home. We've got to make Stamford Bridge a fortress again. We have completely fallen off. And we've got to get back on the horse because Man City away at the weekend with them in imperious form again right now is a concern. Thank you guys for watching this preview. If you're not yet subscribed to the George Benson Football channel, make sure that you do. Smack a like, and I'll see you in the watch-along. Come on, you Blues.